In this video lecture, I want to discuss with you how to compare decimal numbers. Now, before learning how to compare decimal numbers, let's just quickly revise how we compare whole numbers. So for our discussion, I'm only going to take two whole numbers. That is a comparison of two whole numbers and not three or four. So if you have whole numbers 3, 0, 7, 8 and you have 1, 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5. If we have these two whole numbers, and if we have to compare these two whole numbers, then how we do this? What we do is, the first is that we look for the highest place values in both the numbers, So in this example, in this number, we have ones, we have tens, we have hundreds, and we have thousands. So the highest place value in this number is what? Thousands. And at the thousands place we have 3. In this number we have ones, we have tens, we have hundreds, we have thousands, we have 10,000s, and then we have lakhs. So the highest place value in this number is what? Lakhs. And at the lakhs place value we have 1 as the digit. Okay, so the first step is always look for the highest place values in the given numbers. This number's highest place value is thousands, and in this number the highest place value is lakhs. Of course, lakhs is greater place value than the thousands place value, therefore this number will be the winner. This number will be the winner, that is, this number will be the greater of these two numbers. Let's remove this. Control X and Control X. Okay. What if we have what? 3, 2, 5, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1. Okay. We have to compare this number and this number. The highest place value on this number is lakhs, and at the lakhs we have 1, right? In this case we have ones, we have tens, we have hundreds, then we have thousands, then we have 10,000s, and then we have lakhs. So the highest place value for this number is lakhs. And at the lakhs we have what? 3. Okay. So if we look at the highest place value of this number, we have lakhs. For the highest place value or the number place for this number is also lakhs and lakhs. So we cannot decide on the basis of that. So what we do? Is we starting from the highest place value and moving towards the lowest place value, of these whole numbers. We start comparing the digits at the same place values. This is lakhs, this is lakhs. At the lakhs place value we have 1 in this number and 3 is in this number. Of course, 3 is greater than 1. So this number will be the winner, will be the champion, will be the greater number of these two. What if it was something like, even at this place we have 3. So in the lakhs place value, in this number we have 3, and even in this case at the lakhs place value we have 3. So what next? Move towards the right and compare the next digit on the same place values. 10,000s and 10,000s. At the 10,000s place value we have 9. At the 10,000s place value we have 2. 9 is greater than 2. Now in this case, this number is going to be the winner, this number is going to be the champion, this number will be the greater number, okay, of these two. Now if you're wondering that why we actually are revising the comparison of whole numbers? You would be saying like, hey, we know that. Because these steps will be required when we are going to learn how to compare decimal numbers. So just let's begin with. We have, let's take 303 point anything. Just imagine any decimal, number in your mind. But 303 should be there and any digits after decimal point. And again, 107 point anything. Now, if you're wondering that why anything, just to explain you that what's the first step we do when we compare two decimal numbers. When we compare two decimal numbers, the very first step is the same to what we did in the case of when we're comparing whole numbers. What's the first step? We always look for the highest place values in the given numbers, and we look for what digit actually is at the highest place value. So in this case, what? We have ones, we have tens, we have hundreds. The highest place value is what? Hundreds, and at the hundreds we have 3. Ones, tens, hundreds. The highest place value even in this number is hundreds, and the digit at the hundreds place is what? 1, right? So the highest place value of this number is hundreds, and the highest place value of even for this number is also hundreds. So the first step, that is comparing the highest place value, cannot decide. So what next? Starting from the highest place value, we move towards the lowest place value, and we go on comparing the digits on the same place values. So at the hundreds we have 3 and we have 1. Of course, 3 is greater than 1. Since 3 is greater than 1, this number is going to be the champion, will be the winner, will be the greater of these two. Doesn't matter what comes after the decimal point, doesn't matter. The very first thing you do is just compare the whole portion, right? You know that after the decimal point comes what? The decimal portion of the number, and this is actually what? The whole numbers. This is a whole number. So the very first thing we do is compare the whole portion of the given numbers. What if it was 307? Again, at the hundreds place we have 3, so we cannot decide on that. Then at the tens place we have 0, again we cannot decide. Now at the ones place we have 3 in this case, but 7 in this case. 7 is greater than 3, therefore this number is going to be the winner, is going to be the champion, is going to be the greater of these two. What if it was 1307? Now if this is 1307 and this is only 303, so the highest place value in this case is what? This one, and it is what? Thousands. The highest place value now is thousands. And at the thousands place value we have 1 as the digit. Of course, thousands place value is greater than the hundreds place value, therefore this decimal number is going to be the winner, doesn't matter what comes after the decimal point. But now let's take where the decimal portion will actually decide, the decimal notation will actually decide that what is the greater, which one is the greater number. If you have number like 30.7 and 30.9, okay, let's take this condition. So the first step is what? Compare the whole number of the two numbers. So in this case, ones and the tens. So the highest place value is tens, and at the tens place value we have 3 digit. Okay, 3 as a digit. In this case we have ones, we have tens, the highest place value is tens, and at the tens place value we have 3 as a digit. So of course we cannot decide on the basis of this. What you will do next? What you will do next is just focus on this decimal point and tell me which place value comes after the decimal point. Which place value comes after the decimal point? You will say tenths come. Okay, tenths come. So tenths. So what comes next? Which place value comes next after the tens? You will say hundreds. Hundreds. Which place value comes next? You will say thousands. Thousands. Which place value comes next? You will say 10,000s. 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 And so on. And like in this case, the tens, the hundreds, or the 10,000s, when we go towards the left, our place value increases, and when we go towards the right, our place value decreases. Similar in this condition. If you move towards the right, the place values are actually decreasing. Therefore, this tens should be the first point after we have compared this whole portion, the whole numbers. If whole numbers cannot decide which one is greater, the first thing we do is we compare the digits at the tens place value. This is the boss now. It's going to decide. Why? Because the tens place value is greater than the hundreds place value. Hundreds place value is greater than the thousands, and so on. So in this case, we have 7 at the tens place and 9 at the tens place in this number. Of course, 9 is greater than 7. This number is going to be the winner. What if it was, let's take, what if it was, the whole region is same, the whole numbers are same. If it was 30.9 and 3, and this is 6. Now again, we know that we have compared these two whole numbers and we cannot decide because both the whole numbers are same. So you first come at the tens place. At the tens place you have what? You have 9. 9 is equal to 9. Why? This is also having 9. This is also having 9. What next? Move towards the hundreds place value. This place value will then decide if it can. So at the hundreds place value, we have 3 in this case and we have 6 in this case. Of course, 6 is greater than 3. Therefore, this number is going to be the winner. What if our number was something like 0.00789546087? This is the first decimal number, and the next decimal number is only 0.1. Okay. Now you look at this decimal notation, it is having lots of digits, right? And this number is only having 0.1. Now the whole number area is actually what? 0 in this case and 0 in this case. We cannot decide on the basis of that. Therefore, you will enter into this decimal region. Now if someone looks at this decimal notation, that person will think, hey, you know what? This is actually having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 digits in the decimal region. Therefore, surely, man, this is going to be the winner. This is going to be the greater number. But wait, what we discussed here, we discussed that always compare the tens place value. The tens place value is the boss, the first boss after the decimal point. And if you look at the decimal point, you have 0 here. At the tens place value, if you look, you have 0 here, but you have 1 here. Okay, 1 is greater than 0. Tens place value is the boss. Doesn't matter what comes after the tens place value, how many digits do you have after the tens place value. But if it gets decided at the tens place value only, that which digit is greater, no need to look after that. And in this case, going by that, this number is going to be the winner, though this number is only having 1 at the tens place. Why? this means that you have 1/10. Tens place value is greater. It's like, think of this thing. If you have whole number only and it is 10 lakh, right? This is 10 lakh. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakhs and 10 lakhs. And if you have only, this is 10 lakhs, but if you have what, 9 lakh 99,999. Now, if you look at this number, of course, there are many zeros, so one may think that, hey, lots of zeros, but here we have lots of 9, so this should be greater. No. What you look for the greatest place value and then decide which is actually the greater number. The greatest place value in this one is this lakhs. And in this case, you have, what is here? Sorry, in this case you have 10 lakhs, and in this case the greatest place value is what? It's only lakhs. And in this case at the 10 lakhs we have 1, and this is only lakhs only, right? So 10 lakhs place value is of course greater than the lakhs place value, therefore this is the winner. Doesn't matter how many 9 you have, but this has zeros, but doesn't matter. This is the boss, man, because this number is up to the 10 lakhs place value. So similarly, since tens is the boss, this number is decided here only. This is a winner. What if it was 0.01? Again, just first look for the tens place value. The tens place value is 0, both are same, we cannot decide. Then we move towards the left, and now we have towards the right, we have hundreds place value. In these two cases, at the hundreds place value, in this here you have 1 and here you have 0. Of course, 1 is greater than 0. This number is again the winner, right? So in this fashion you go on, comparing the place values, and then on the basis of that you always decide which one is the winner. Never decide by counting the number of digits in the decimal region, right? Never decide. Like here, if you say that this is having the many digits, but in this case you have only 2. No, this is not the way. Tens is a boss, then hundreds is a boss. They will decide which one is a greater number.